All right, y'all. So we're back with some more Gekishin Squadra, and today we're making a tier list here. So this is the season 2.4 update with legendary Super Saiyan Broly. I'm quite excited to just talk about this guy. I feel like he's had a very like opinion, I think, in the community. A lot of people actually think this guy is bad. A lot of people think this guy is broken, and we'll just be discussing that. So I will say there isn't actually too many changes from the last tier list in terms of like the best characters in the game, funny enough, but I do think that there's a lot of changes in like the lower roles. So we'll be talking from best in slot all the way down to worst in slot rather than going bottom up. I just think that's kind of how I feel would, like, let's just get the kind of easy things to talk out of the way first, right? So if you guys don't know, this is how I structure my tier list here. So it is not necessarily a Z, A, B, C, etc. This is more so like best in slot, which is, you know, for example, like I think characters that are de facto like must runs. I feel like, you know, best in slot, all four characters in here, probably the best team in the game, right? Worst in slot, same thing, but the opposite. Then we have everything in the middle, and I'll kind of explain these roles as I get to them. But let's start off here with the best in slot. So again, I think that these characters, you know, do stand out compared to the rest of them, at least in my personal opinion. I think they are very easy to use. I think they have just like all around great tools with them. And I think, you know, we're going to start off with attackers, then tank, then technical, but Super Saiyan Goku. I mean, in terms of attackers, I think Super Saiyan Goku's pretty clearly the best attacker in the game, I would say. This guy is just still, it's so funny. He's received multiple nerfs and multiple adjustments, but he's still so good. This guy, I mean, he actually just does everything. He just could become very tanky with Kaioken. You know, you put build up on this guy, Kaioken gives him all defense up. With this up, he's very tanky actually during the duration of Kaioken, which is pretty funny considering how Kaioken is as a move. I feel like, you know, you could spam this move so much, but he doesn't really get any downside for it. Great at farming with Meteor Hammer, especially with, you know, Kaioken allowing him to just move around the map pretty decently quickly, even at post nerf. Kamehameha is really good for securing, not even just Kai, but like you throw a Spirit Bomb down, then into Kamehameha with Kaioken's boost. This guy could like melt early bosses by himself, like 16 and Nappa could just like actually get one-shotted with him, especially if you have Kid Gohan around. Like, I think that's like assuredly just like Super Saiyan Goku is one-shotting the boss, right? This guy is just absolutely incredible. He has a Super Saiyan transformation as well, which means that he has a get out of jail free card if you really do need it. I don't know, just like all in all, this guy is just doing so many things. He's even like, this is like decent at like having the, like, if an ally dies near you, like in team fights, this is really good. If you have an ally hero KO'd, then you're able to do extra damage against whoever KOs them, which could help you secure a kill. And you know, you get of course the extra findable target, which is really good, just like when you're looking on the map. I think overall Goku, I mean, he's just doing everything. Boss secure, it's like crazy how it's just his design is made in a way that fits Squadra extremely well, so he's just able to succeed. And man, oh man, what a great character. Just like many different options you could have. Now, the second best in slot option, you could maybe sub in like some characters that would be great in role, and we'll get to that later. But I think for my pick, it's going to be the Gammas, who are actually fun enough free. I'll probably have my Gammas kind of video where I use them up tomorrow. Now, these guys could do pretty good damage for sure if you're really focusing on it, but I really do like using these guys as just kind of like, not like a wall necessarily, but they're very nice at also helping secure objectives. They're really good in team fights as well. They have the core breaker in their back pocket. They're extremely tanky though. That's the biggest thing. The thing about the Gammas is that they're able to, essentially what you do with the Gammas is you run build up on them. You have this skill 2, which does increase your HP by quite a bit. Then you also have skill 3, which is actually pretty good for farming once you're able to get it like maxed out. Again, I'm not like the craziest Gammas player. I don't even use them that often, but man, it's just so easy to use them when you do use them now. Before they had issues with like sustaining, but now they don't, especially with the build-up meta going on. These guys are able to just thrive in this. Having the 2 HP bars is really good. You're able to switch between them once you like kind of get used to switching between the Gammas, and you know, knowing when to strike and when to just like kind of hold the enemy off. They're really good. They could be very useful, even helping secure bosses with the stagger. I mean, guess what, like I feel like every single, like most of the better characters in the game, a lot of them have a stagger in their kit, and best in slot. In fact, every character in best in slot has a stagger in their kit, which, you know, will tell you a lot. But yeah, I know Gammas are able to do that, but also the core breaker could be used for like a very good defense. Even if you're behind and the enemy team is all attacking or got a destruction, if you do have the core breaker, you might be able to snipe a couple of them, especially with how chaotic things get at the end of the fight. Like you can kind of sneak Gamma 2 in there and just like sneak KO someone if they're not really paying attention, which you could use to your advantage. They're just doing so much. I don't know, like they could, even with gap like skill 1, I'm not the biggest fan of it, honestly. Like I think I would much prefer to rather level up skill 2 and skill 3. This back in season 1 though actually was able to do a decent amount of damage, but now especially with skill 2 boost, man, they're just so tanky. They're really just an annoying rat, and they're just so difficult to kill is what I find. And obviously the longer on the battlefield, the more you could farm around the mob or farm mobs around the map, the more you're able to, you know, theoretically, the longer you survive in a fight, the more damage you would do compared to just having snowball, honestly. And you're just able to take control of the map because of that. Like with these guys, they're just incredible. I love the Gammas. They're really good. Now for a tank role, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, I think it's still the best tank. I don't even think it's close. Like I would say the Gammas, you could talk about other kind of options in their slot maybe, but the thing about, how to explain it, the thing about Vegeta is that even though he did get skill 2 and skill 3 nerfed, I feel like, you know, I'll have my video up for that. Like I'm scheduling some of these like kind of like videos that I'm talking about in this one for later on during the week, so I actually don't, I need to make sure I spread my content out a little bit, of course, so that not everything is just gone instantly. Especially because from here on out, we're kind of waiting for season 3. But I feel like I can feel like the skill 3 nerf, like a decent amount, but it's nothing too crazy. And skill 2 nerf kind of, I feel like didn't really do too much, unfortunately. Like they decreased the skill 2 nerf by about 25%. 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. I don't think that's nearly enough. That should have been half. It should be bare minimum half. It should only be a 1 second stagger. The fact that Vegeta stagger still lasts so long is actually crazy, and I assume the reason why they have it as longer than usual is because you have to hit someone into a wall, but that's not really difficult. There's like walls everywhere, and once you like learn the basics of what this guy's able to do, I mean, he's, even they say his difficulty is very low, he's able to do very good. I mean, he also has a transformation as well, which is really nice. Just get El Jalfrumi card. He's very tanky. He has a lot of HP. This ultimate is insane for helping your team secure bosses. Like it's actually so good, but it has such a low cooldown that you could also utilize it for max Gekishin bursts, even if you're able to sneak in and get a tower. Like this guy is just like doing so much, and I feel like even this is like pretty decent at like farming mobs, or like, you know, you could pull someone in. It's not like the craziest thing ever though. Like his skill 1 is like fine, but like everything else he's doing is just really good with very little downsides to them. I feel like Vegeta is a character that just doesn't have, like, that's the issue with characters right now in the game, is that I feel like some of them are designed with like checks and balances, and then some of them aren't. Like I feel like Vegeta, what is the workaround to his shield? Like that's why they nerfed the duration of the shield blast and the extra HP, because it's like there's not really a workaround to it, man. And he still has unstoppable like anti-CC. Even like if you attack him from behind, he can't get CC'd. Like I feel like Vegeta is, I don't know. There's just no like look. I mean, look at his stats, bro. There's actually just no counterplay to what a lot of this guy is doing. Sometimes you actually just, it's not even outplaying Vegeta, it's outplaying the player. Kind of what it comes to by the end of the day. Or if it's like Vegeta versus Vegeta, it's whoever lands a stun first, whoever uses their ultimate first. I feel like, you know, of course there's other factors in this team game at the end of the day, but you guys get the point. I think, you know, when we compare Vegeta to like, you know, other things like Cauliflower Cooler, it just, he's just doing way too much just for how the game functions right now, which is, you know, the game is very reliant on these boss fights and melting down bosses, and Vegeta's absolutely also perfect for that. But even like early on laning phase, this guy is kind of a threat. You need to play around him and not try to stick to walls like that. Things like that, right? Vegeta is very, very, very powerful. Now, Ultimate Gohan. That video comes out today for Ultimate Gohan, but his nerfs did nothing. Like I would say, they had again a generally right idea, especially when it comes to nerfing his damage, but for some reason they were like, yeah, actually let's give him compensation buffs. I don't know why they did that. Like I think that's just actually the, like, it's really dumb. like no insult to anyone specific, but the idea of, okay, his HP was decreased, I think I could feel that. Like I think that's noticeable. His HP is still pretty good, generally for a technical, but I think it's definitely noticeable. I don't know why you got compensation buffs. Like, the thing about this skill 1 is this skill 1 wasn't even meant to do damage anyways on the first hit. It's meant to build up the stacks, so that's fine. The extra damage on here isn't really the craziest, right? I kind of don't really care too much about it. But the thing is, his ultimate damage was basically unchanged, because even though the flurry damage was decreased, the actual shockwave hit was nearly doubled. And the damage that he does, just like with the physical and energy defense debuffs, and then the amount of stuns he does, he just still does too much damage. Like his actual attack value needs to be nerfed. I feel like Gohan, like, I don't know, like he still does too much damage. Like I like the skill 2 extra cooldown, it's nice, but Power Lean still does remove the cooldown anyways, and they remove the extra stack when the first hit of a follow-up and puts hits an enemy hero. Like I think it's just a bit unfortunate. Gohan is just like inherently going to be an annoying character with the amount of stuns he has in his kit, but at the same time he's just also doing a lot of damage, right? And I think that's where kind of they messed up. Like Vegeta's nerfs, they had the right idea, but they went a little soft on it. Gohan, I think they kind of like fumbled like Gohan nerfs, unfortunately. I think that they missed the mark. So hopefully he gets nerfed again, is what I would say. Something about this guy still needs to change. Like I think there's 3 things that they need to address with him: the damage he does, the HP he has, and then something with like the requirement to stun the enemy. It used to be 3, funny enough, before they last minute changed it. It should be 3 again. One of those 3 things, 2 of those 3 things I feel like had to change to really put Ultimate Gohan in place, and only the HP was changed. He still does a very similar damage, if not like basically just the same, and the amount of times he stuns during the match is also the same. So there you go, right? That's just all unfortunate. Also, he has a wall stun, just cause he should not have a wall stun. There's no reason for this guy to also have a wall stun in a skill 2. I think that's really dumb. But yeah, I think I would say like this is the best team right now. So we can continue on from Fast and Slot to Great and Roll. I would say the first character that comes to mind really is Piccolo. Honestly, I think I've seen just so much good things from Piccolo, especially recently. Piccolo, those buffs in season 1, like this might be like one of the more quote unquote balanced characters. I think that, well, okay, maybe I shouldn't say that. I would say he's great in Roll. Like I would say good at Roll is more so like balanced characters. Great in Roll, he's still very strong. The fact that he could just one-shot bosses is a bit silly, I would say, but I think that's less of an issue on Piccolo, and I would argue that's more of an issue just on bosses themselves. Their HP just too low in general. Like the boss meta itself, like something has to change about how it works, because I mean, well, it would be nice to fresh the game up anyways, but I think that, you know, a character like Piccolo is able to really kind of like, if you know what you're doing with Piccolo and you have a good team with you and you're like peeling for this guy, is really, really nice. But that's where I would say that's why I like. Okay, so I feel like there's the two slots that you want to have for attackers. You want one attacker that as a secure option, and then the other attacker as just kind of like, usually I feel like the secure options we have do, like the better ones do like to go top lane, but doesn't necessarily matter. Like a more tanky second option is what I would say is how I would like to run the teams. Like top lane would be a character with, like, you know, less HP but a really good secure, can kind of not have to worry about moving around the map as much if necessary, while his bottom lane is a character that I really like to be more tanky, more HP, because the actual God of Destructions are farther from each other, the farm is farther from each other compared to top lane, right? That's like kind of the difference. And you know, if it's between Super Saiyan Goku and Piccolo, I do want to say Super Saiyan Goku is just overall a better character. Piccolo is better for boss secures, and Piccolo can look better than Super Saiyan Goku in some situations, but I think Super Saiyan Goku is just overall not only easier to use, but gonna be more consistent, and it's easier to work with Super Saiyan Goku than it is with Piccolo. However, that's not to say Piccolo can't be a best in slot contender, especially for boss secures at all. This guy, if you want to say you think Piccolo personally is best in slot, I'm not gonna argue against that necessarily, but I almost kind of, well, maybe I would. Super Saiyan Goku, man, he's just a crazy guy, but Piccolo, Piccolo's more so on the boss secure than overall, right? Like Piccolo's better at securing bosses than Super Saiyan Goku is, but Super Saiyan Goku is pretty much better at everything else, right? Next we have Diamond Goku. Again, another character where I think, you know, he doesn't necessarily have the most HP, but he's very tanky. And the reason why he's tanky, guess what, guys? Can you guess? Power pole dance. Yep, power pole dance. The first hit that you get attacked in this is halved, so that's awesome. You get half the damage of basically any skill, any attack. It's not great. Then he gets energy defense up, or strike defense up, depending on what you're hit by. You could theoretically get both. Then he also has movement speed up, which again could double trigger if you get hit by both. You could also move whilst this is being used. That allows this guy to move around the map pretty quickly if he needs to escape, which again is also really good for, I think, bottom lane. I think I do like Diamond Goku bottom lane. He can still farm on the other side of the map. Skill 2 or skill 1 boost doesn't like really change. Like, you know, when it comes to season 2, obviously I think skill 2 boost, Glory Lightning Bolt is still really good. His ultimate could even be used as like an extra secure option if you really need it. But for the most part, his ultimate, I don't know. Like what I know with Diamond Goku is that you could actually use his skills during his ultimate. I'm not sure if that's intended. I don't think that's intended. But who knows? I feel like, you know, most people don't know about that. And when you consider that, plus the fact that he does have immune to all during the very start of the ultimate, like if you time it right, this ultimate could be pretty good in team fights. Overall, Diamond Goku is just like a good character. I mean, it's not that he's necessarily changed, but I just think it's more so the build-up meta makes Gammas a better option right now. Diamond Goku is still very good though. Very good character. This guy is just very silly. Toei Agenda pushing Diamond Goku to be really good. Who would have thought, right? Next we have tanks for grid and roll, and then we're gonna put Caulifla, and I'll put Cooler. I think before in the past I had Cooler above Caulifla, but right now I would definitely say I feel like Caulifla is a bit better than Cooler, especially post the Cooler HP nerfs. And I feel like Cooler doesn't have as many answers to Vegeta as Caulifla does to Vegeta. Caulifla also has an energy barrier, which is really cool. I think that, you know, it actually could be better at helping secure like high early on than even Vegeta can. Provoke still just counters so many different characters. Provoke counters Piccolo, Provoke counters Super Saiyan Goku, Provoke counters the Gammas, I feel like a bit. Provoke is, you know, still pretty good against Ultimate Gohan and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta even, but like, especially like the main DPS cast, I feel like Provoke is still such a powerful ability. And Caulifla didn't really, like, she got quote-unquote nerfs, but she didn't get nerfed to where it really would matter. Cooler has extra iframes, but I feel like it doesn't, like, even with the build-up meta, I feel like it wasn't worth it. Like, considering the existence of Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Cooler should have stayed the same. I think Vegeta needs a little bit more of a nerf, and then if he does get that, maybe if they revert Cooler's HP as well, like these three could be fighting in contention for best tank again, which would be very interesting. But for now, it's like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is still just doing way too much. Cooler's ultimate, you know, itself is still really good. I think that his ultimate could be game changing, honestly, in many situations. Skill 3, like Cooler is still doing really good stuff. Like that's why he's so great in role. I just think he does fall behind like Caulifla and especially Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta right now. He has a transformation as well, but like, you know, so do the other two tanks. I feel like Cooler just doesn't. You need to play a little smarter with Cooler compared to Vegeta and Caulifla. I feel like that's kind of like a big thing to me, and it's like obviously the easier it is to play a character, the more misplays you can make, and the better you are at the game. Like, you know, easier it could just be, I think, in most situations, right? So I don't know, that's just kind of how I feel about it, like when it comes to these tier lists and what I'm thinking about. For technical in the grain slot role, we have Kid Gohan, who was untouched, and Hit, who was untouched. I don't think I really have to talk about it. Ultimate Gohan, you know, is arguably the best character in the game, honestly. I think he does sit, like, you know, even if it was like, oh, multiple characters could be best in slot, like if this was like a Z tier, I don't think I would put Kid Gohan or Hit in here even. I mean, I don't think I have to talk about these guys especially. I think everyone knows how good these guys are. Like, I really don't think I have to talk about that. Like, and again, if you're newer, again, just I guess a quick preface. Kid Gohan, massive support buffs, multiple stuns in his kits, energy defense down, can allow you to melt enemies with like Goku or Piccolo. Even Diamond Goku, I think, has a energy, if I'm not like misremembering, right? But like, there's so many energy blasts in this game that exist right now. Even with Spirit Bomb, right? The energy down does actually also apply to like bosses and farm, which is really funny. Then Hit right here, just very annoying. I don't know. Like the fact that Hit got a buff is actually just like insane. It's not like a meaningful buff, but it's really silly. Then next we can move forward to I feel like I'm talking about a lot of this too much, but we'll put all the attackers here, and then this is where we get to Broly, funny enough. So I guess I'll put all four of these attackers right here for now. Again, we're getting to characters where I feel like, you know, they're kind of like, I don't want to say like divine draw merchants. I don't know how to specifically explain it, but I feel like these characters are very, like, depending on what divine draws you have, these characters could be looking like they could be even great in role, or looking like a little lower than that. For example, I think Broly, really nice when he has this skill to boost. Obviously, you know, Superstar is really good for Broly as well. Talking about Broly specifically, I think, again, he's overall very strong. I think he's a nice little slot 2 option. He's just good to me, but he's not great. And the reason why he's not great is because of two things. One, he doesn't really have any form of secure. If we take a look at, you know, best in slot, for the most part, Super Saiyan Goku has really great secure. Piccolo has really great secure. Diamond Goku has decent secure as well. Broly is a bottom lane character though. So like he's kind of competing directly with Gammas as well. And the issue with Broly compared to the Gammas is that Gammas again, are just incredibly tanky against anything. Broly only gets the strike defense up here. If we take a look here, strike defense up against enemy heroes with Despair Gates filled. The issue is that leads to Ki Blast absolutely obliterating this guy. Even Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Kale, Bojack, Piccolo, and Super Saiyan Goku all have energy blast options that will inherently make Broly die fast, right? Especially endgame. It's a bit easy to kill Broly. I think that to buff Broly, they need to give him all defense up here, and I think that would make him, honestly, arguably a great enroll option. Another thing is, again, early game secure. Again, even Kale, even Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Bojack, I feel like they also just have better secure early on. But where Broly really shines is team fights, right? This ultimate, I found this ultimate to be very good. Built not only just building up the despair gauge, but the movement speed down as well is crazy. Then you could actually also use, just like Diamond Goku, apparently you could use skills during this ultimate. So again, skill 2 is gigantic stop. Skill 1 has like a really good coverage and does like decentish damage when the despair gauge is fully built up. Skill 3 has the recharge, and then the next skill will actually do extra damage. Like Broly is able to chain together. Like I feel like Broly is like he either gets like 2 to 3 to 4 KOs at once, or he doesn't kill anyone. That's kind of how Broly feels like to me. He's like a chain KO monster. I just think that for some reason, like they always make Broly's like these glass cannons. If Broly was just overall tankier, he would be even up here, even without a major secure thing. But they could also buff his skill damage just in general, and I think that would make Broly look really, really nice. Again, overall, a balanced release. Like I said, like again, characters in this slot are close to being balanced. Bojack overall really good. Again, not with the greatest boss secure. I think he's more so looking really good when we have medical respawn. The thing about medical respawn is not only can you protect your kind of medical pods a little easier, I feel like, with Bojack, but you're able to place his skill 3 against the enemy medical respawn and it'll do damage over time. Bojack has a really good area control, so in medical respawn, Bojack is able to, I think, pretty effectively get you those things. Of course, you know, skill 2 damage boost is actually pretty decent for this guy as well. Super Saiyan 3 Goku does lose skill 1 damage boost, but this guy on Superstar is low-key still a threat. And then, you know, if you're running into Broly's, this guy could be really good. We get Dragon Fist. He has actually a decent secure with Dragon Fists, like at the end of fights. Instant transmission is still very good, but the thing about Super Saiyan 3 Goku is the existence of this guy. And this guy even covers up Broly's kind of weakness with energy blast a little, if you want to consider that. But the existence of Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, I feel like, allows a complete counter this guy. Even Caulifla can kind of counter Super Saiyan 3 a little bit with Provoke, nothing crazy. And the final thing about Super Saiyan 3, the reason why he's not great in roll anymore, is the fact that in this build-up meta, I feel like it's harder to snipe characters. So that's it. Kill has good secure. Kill could do really good damage. Even on skill 2 boost, I think Kill actually can do really nice damage with her skill 2. Biggest issue with her will always be mobility. I feel like mobility just is where she falls behind. But again, you guys kind of see where I'm talking about with this. Then we can continue filling out the list here. I mean, Super Saiyan Vegeta and Zamasu, I think, you know, also like characters like skill 2 boost for the Vegeta could be really nice. I think, you know, Zamasu's Superstar actually is looking really nice as well. He could be decently tanky and get farms a lot, like farm around the map a lot better. With that Superstar, like I feel like these guys could be looking really nice when we consider that. Android 17 and Gotenks, I feel like, are also similar. I feel like 17 with his extra buffs is actually like, that's one of the main changes. I feel like, funny enough, is 17 with the lower skill 3 cooldown and the increased recharge rate of his additional skill that he has when the other skills are on cooldown overall allow this guy to just look really, really nice. I do like this guy. You know, he feels decently tanky, especially with the extra health he gives and how quick it is to get that. I really do like 17, actually. Gotenks himself is another kind of balanced character, but I would say he's a little closer to getting to decent in role than he is good in role. However, the main reason he's on here is again just because I feel like Superstar Gotenks could be pretty effective with all the ghosts going around, and he also, like, his ultimate is still nice. If you're able to catch someone with the ultimate, it still does quite a bit in terms of like restraining the enemy. But Gotenks, there's just a lot of ways to kind of play around his kit, and you know, I feel like these characters, there's a lot of ways you could play around them, a little more open than like these characters who are more tight knit, and especially these ones. So and you know, I may be rushing a little bit because I realized this video is kind of long. That's my bad, chat. Next we have Oob's just decent in a role because I think he doesn't really have a good, you know, farm secure, especially with like high and things like that. His ultimate could be like, Oob is really close to being good or even great in role. He just needs extra damage early on to allow him to secure around the map. He just has troubles getting things started is kind of the big thing with Oob, unfortunately. But if they increase like skill 1 damage and maybe give him like, you know, 1 or 2 other things, this guy could start looking really, really powerful. He doesn't have an issue at the end of fights. It is an issue at the beginning of fights. Same with Trunks. Doesn't have an issue at the end of fights, has an issue at the beginning of fights. Because he has so low HP, it's a bit, you have to play very, very, very carefully with Trunks, and it's very easy to kind of jump this guy. Unfortunately, Trunks needs a massive HP buff. Like, his HP is so low. Trunks with an HP boost alone, again, is shooting up. Yeah, that's kind of it for Trunks. Next we have God of Destruction Topo. I think this guy needs Unstoppable in skill 3 is what I would say. And I feel like what they should do is they have the God of Destruction destruction mark stacks on his skills that can stack up to 4 times. What I think they should do is they should decrease that to 3 times, but increase the damage so that 3 stacks is the same as what 4 stacks used to be. And then of course 1 and 2 stacks also will do extra tick damage. That's what they should do for God Topo. And especially with Unstoppable on skill 3, this guy will have, like, you know, extra damage generally, and maybe make his ultimate a bit faster. But even like requiring less mark of destructions will make his ultimate do more damage, because the more it marks, the more damage it does. So maybe they could adjust that as well. Like, I think Topo is, again, another character like these two where it's like you fix like 1 to 2, even maybe 3 changes to this guy, and things start looking really good for him. Baby is actually looking a bit better with the inclusion of Broly, I would argue. And you know, Topo, even at situations, can actually cook a little bit, like depending on, you know, what team up you're running into. Funny enough, I feel like Topo is actually a good play into Broly as well, just because of his counter. Broly wants to keep rush attacking to keep the despair gauge, but Topo kind of stops that, and if Broly does attack him, he shoots an energy blast at Broly, which he either has to vanish or he actually takes a lot of damage. So Baby's actually really good at sustaining like Topo, but he did get buffs. Like, I feel like the buffs aren't crazy. I don't want to go on Twitter right now. The buffs are not like super crazy, but they're useful to the point where what's it called, like, he has extra uptime on skill 3, which is nice. Skill 2 cooldown was also increased or decreased, which is cool too. But yeah, generally, Baby's looking actually pretty decent right now. Like, nothing crazy, but he could do some things. Majin Buu, I think Majin Buu Superstar is able to look really nice. I almost want to put Buu in good and roll. Superstar Buu looks really cool. I will. I think. I like Buu. I'm gonna put Buu in good and roll. Maybe, I feel like some people would argue Buu shouldn't be good and roll, but I do like Majin Buu. Yeah, I at first I had Majin Buu decent, but I think I'll have Majin Buu good here. Skill 3 could be like better, but like I think he has a lot of useful tools to him. Krillin right here, decent roll. I feel like the buffs weren't enough, unfortunately. I feel like Krillin is definitely still closer to the bottom of technicals. I feel like his ultimate needs a buff. Like, especially before skill 3, his ultimate is kind of just like actually dog cheeks, dog water. The skill 1 buff was nice, and the skill 3 buff was nice as well. I think skill 1 maybe could do a little more damage. Maybe this guy could have some extra defense in his kit somewhere as well. Again, he's not bad. I don't know what I would really do for him right now. I do like scattering energy wave on super start though. I think that from what I have seen, it could actually be pretty good at securing like kites and stuff like that. I think if Krillin had a stronger ultimate, and I don't even know if I would say necessarily he needs damage, but if he had a stronger ultimate and something with skill 2, like if skill 2 gave him movement speed up. Yeah, you know, what if skill 2 gave him movement speed up, so it's actually like it matters something? Like it doesn't have to hit the enemy, but he will get movement speed up regardless, and he's able to get out of situations a lot quicker. I think that would be really nice for Krillin, or he could use it even for like, you know, trying to rush god towers. That could be pretty funny. I mean, yeah, I think that would be pretty good, because like it makes sense with solar flare used as an evasive move. Maybe you don't necessarily have to hit it, but if the enemy is in that range, he will get movement speed up. That could be cool. Then I think these are just worst slot characters. 18 is like, in the first minute, 18 can be dangerous, but then that's it. Like after that first minute, I feel like it's kind of easy to work around her. She doesn't have crazy HP. You can kind of zone her out. I feel like you could also work around her. Like if you just don't engage with 18 early on, she'll take farm early on, but you could also effectively back farm at the same time. And you can still contest mid farm a little bit, and you'll be fine against 18 because she doesn't have a boss secure. She's like nice at picking people off, but I don't know. I feel like compared to even Topo or like these guys, have at least even like decent as boss secure. I don't know. 18 kind of does nothing for bosses right now. I think that's a big issue. Deborah is very similar to that. I think Deborah inherently just doesn't work in this game. He's either going to be busted or he's going to be kind of mid. Right now, he's just mid. Fun enough, again, also playing Broly, Deborah is actually a decent counter pick for the same reasons I talked about with God Topo. Just to less effectiveness. But again, Broly wants to kind of be in the enemy space, and especially without Superstar, I feel like Deborah is able to kind of petrify Broly way easier than other characters because of how Broly's kit wants to work, right? Cell just sucks. Like early game, Cell's actually dog water. Cell's like worse than Trunks early game, which is so crazy. Again, late game Cell doesn't really have problems, but he's not particularly amazing. Like even if it was like we had perfect, like if Cell was like level 5 Cell level 1, he would still probably be like right here. I don't know, man. Like obviously, like I'm talking about in terms of like HP and things like that, not like specifically like, oh, he has all of his ultimates and everything, right? Frieza just inherently doesn't work against Ultimate Gohan. Frieza isn't really even good at boss secure anymore. Like that, I think that's one of his main things. He's not good at backdooring because his skill cooldown. Like Frieza, it's like Frieza could only backdoor if there's Stardust, bro. Like if there's not Stardust, he's cooked. Dodoria does nothing. Zarbon is like, Frieza is just Zarbon the character right now. This is nice. Like you could do good things, but the Zarbon nerf with the callback is very annoying for Frieza players from what I've seen. The Supernova is like okay, but again, I feel like most of the times I see Supernova, it's so fucking obvious, and then I get out of the time. Like I get out of there 9 out of 10 times. It's like very easy to avoid. And when it comes to boss secures, like unless you just have a huge, just like unless your team is just more organized against bosses, it's like it's so easy to steal boss from Frieza, and that's kind of like his big thing. I feel like he can be decent defending towers, but I mean, it's not that hard to target his minions first. I don't know, poor Frieza, man. Even like Krillin, I would say, just does overall more throughout the fight. I mean, you could say if you think Krillin's worse than Slot, I'm not gonna blame you, but poor Frieza. I don't know, I'm not a fan of him. But here's the completed list. Again, if you feel like a few things can be changed, it can be, but I wanted to kind of make an in-depth kind of coverage of this. I also do like talking about each of the characters, so you guys understand like exactly why I said these things or why I chose the specific placement compared to like, you know, even other characters. But I also don't want the video to be like an hour long, so this is about 40 minutes. Thanks y'all for watching. Appreciate y'all, and of course I'll catch you guys next time.